Another one.
You have the same T-shirt.
Yeah, I didn't wash, man. I'm lazy this week. What's happening, guys?
What's happening, man?
So let's continue from the last things, safety things we were talking about. We covered gears. We covered our attention. How much attentive a rider should be.
Yeah.
We covered a little bit about the tools and our personal preferences of things that we always like to carry with us.
Yeah.
So what's in your mind? Let's talk about anything which we may have left out in the last one.
I have a few things. So, and this involves safety of ourselves while traveling, and primarily, so two ideas I want to kind of put across, and maybe we can take it from there. One is eating out while traveling.
Importanto.
Oh, yeah. And the other is how do you ride in formation?
Oh, you're opening the Pandora's box.
But it's important.
It
It's
is,
safety
it
for
is.
you, for the guy behind you, and the guy behind me.
Formation.
So,
I have so many things to talk about
Awesome.
formation.
So let's start with food. Yeah. I believe that you should carry as much as you can. I'm not saying to pack an entire, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday meal, but pack at least the traveling day's meal. So if you're going long distance, at least have one meal with you, right? And that is a philosophy of mine. It works. It worked for me. I don't particularly have a strong gut. I could eat the most simplest food from outside and land up in deep shit. Literally.
So whether you should carry food or carry a toilet.
If I'm traveling out, the world is my oyster. We have experienced that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to make a proper Michelin style meal and go. It could just be basic veggie sandwiches, or maybe an egg sandwich, or just boiled eggs and bananas. It's the best. You take boiled eggs, bananas, and a bunch of bread and butter. That's my go-to. So bread and butter, boiled eggs, bananas, salt, pepper. You're sorted.
I think I like that kind of food.
Easy to, and the eggs don't get bad because they're in their shell. You don't de-shell them. You should de-shell them only when you want to eat them. So you keep them in their shell. They're still protected. They're still kind of they're not exposed to bacteria or any other thing, and you can have that. And carry your water. Water is crucial. And I mean, and wherever you stop and halt for food, try and avoid anything that is way overcooked or fried. Eat the most basic over there, and the most I wouldn't say undercooked, but something that you know that would not harm your stomach. So if you can stick to dal rice, a few veggies, I think that's because you're not trying to kind of get full. You're just trying to kind of eat something, so you remain active. And lastly, I would try to put is carry some energy bars, or it could just be chocolate, because you need a lot of energy when you ride. You kind of deplete a lot of energy when you're riding, so that helps. Just a chocolate bar, 2-3 bites, and you just feel nice.
What I take care of, if I'm when it comes to food, I avoid anything sleep-inducing.
Rice.
So for me, rice is the last thing I want to have. And second thing is,
Makes sense.
at any given point, wherever we stop for any kind of food, I just eat half the stomach.
Oh yeah.
Half my stomach size,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know how much, but I know if the quantity is this much, that is going to do it. I'm not going to be full. I want to. It's the point where you feel like, okay, I want to have more. That's exactly when you have to. Exactly when you have to stop.
Yeah.
Second thing I avoid is too much of coffee, because that's dehydrating. You want to have coffee because to a certain level you should have coffee, because that keeps you there. But avoid too much of coffee, because that's going to dehydrate you. So you have to have a lot of water. Water is super essential when you're riding.
Yeah, but not just plain water.
Not just plain water.
You can
balance it out with minerals.
The easiest thing to do is just add a little salt.
Yeah.
And sugar.
Best thing is what you do already.
Yeah.
Well, you carry those green packets of Electro. Yeah. Those are best. Yes. They have an ample amount of minerals your body needs.
Yeah. And if you don't have the salt and sugar, mix it with water.
Yes.
And you're done.
Yes. And then third thing, which I really I advise, is not to have food at any place which is, if you're not sure of it's a good place to have food, like whether it's hygiene or it's the when you see the kind of food they prepare, if you're not confident, go with your gut feeling. Go with your gut feeling that if this is going to make me sick, just avoid it, find the next location, have it there.
Yeah, or just buy a packet of biscuits.
Yes.
Till you reach your destination.
Yes.
Also, shops that look empty probably are not selling food as much. You got to avoid that because they're probably stocking older food.
Yeah. Okay, this episode is going to be a short one. So let's move on to the next.
So I would like to hear from you formation riding in terms of safety.
Yes. So this is so important. When you ride in bigger groups, what happens is, people generally in the group, they do not want to stick to the formation or the position. They always want to, either go behind or overtake and take the next slot, or maybe want to lead without prior communication to the group, the internal group itself. Okay, that's very dangerous. There was an instance where we decided that I'm going to lead, and the others would have to follow.
So you were the navigator.
I was the navigator, the pilot. I was making my planned overtakes in a very safe manner. But there was one rider who overtook me while I was overtaking a truck. So here's the truck, here's me, and he was on the extreme side. So I have to now deal with the gap from the truck and the surprising gap all of a sudden which happened on my right side, and he did not communicate that, hey, I'm going to overtake you right now. In such cases, the person should not have agreed to me being the pilot, and if he wants to be the pilot, be my guest. It's a clear communication. So this is one thing. Next thing is formation. People generally ride on the same track, one behind the other. That is very wrong.
Yeah.
Number one is the distance should increase with your relative speed.
Yeah. The faster you go, the
the
more your distance becomes.
So
yes. Always remember that.
Always remember that. Second is, you should always
and just explain why.
That is because your brake has a braking capacity, and that braking capacity and distance. So that distance will help you not stress your bike so much, so you don't have to do sudden braking,
and you'll have ample of time to brake before impact.
Yes,
during an emergency.
Yes.
So yeah.
And the second thing to it, which is very important, is always ride alternate positions. Like number diagonal. Yeah. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Crisscross.
Yeah.
So that also gives enough distance.
Yeah, because if the guy in front of you, let's say he slows down for whatever reason.
Or he has to move around a pothole, anything.
Yeah.
So it is always better to have that formation of alternate stacking.
So many accidents happening because people are just exactly tailgating each other.
Yes.
Right? And the minute someone brakes hard, this guy is probably, because when you're riding for miles and miles, all of a sudden you've picked up speed, the guy in front of you has picked up speed, and then you assume that he's also at a certain speed, and you do not get the relative sense of when he's braking.
Yeah.
You might even miss the point where you've not seen his brake light. And then you can't, because of the speed, like we were discussing, when you're riding fast, your gap increases.
Yeah.
Right? But like in motorcycling, when you're speeding, to reach the person in front of you just takes a few seconds.
Yes.
And in that few seconds, if you can't decide where to go, what to break, it's a matter of you getting really badly hurt.
Yeah.
And hitting the person in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing is, if it's slightly dark, the riders behind the pilot, everybody should always ride in low beam.
Oh, that's a good thing. Yes.
It is a safety thing.
Yeah.
If it runs on high beam, the rider ahead, he cannot see anything behind in the mirrors. That's very important.
I agree.
Okay, that's one thing. And then there are some other factors like how you signal. Suppose you want to stop.
Okay.
And you want to, and that could be an emergency situation also. No matter how critical it is, if you're doing
we are talking about you. You know who you are.
And okay, you know who you are. And
this video we
are just not naming names here, and I'm not taking your name.
He's one of our guys, so it's okay. It's none of you guys. It's one of our guys.
So when you stop in a very planned way. You don't stop all of a sudden as, hey, do you want to have coffee over here? No, that's totally wrong. You do it in a very controlled manner.
I know.
That's important.
I could see a smile from the minute you brought that up.
But it's not. It's a very generic thing. It may happen to anybody.
See, right now it's a joke, but it could have gone south.
Yeah.
I think it's crucial. I mean, and if you plan to kind of ride with a particular group, and it's a good thing to kind of there are a lot of people who ride solo, which is great. I mean, if you do solo, I've done solo riding, it's fine. If you get a group and ride a few trips with them, because that itself also is very crucial. You need to understand each rider and their riding style and their capacity. Then you'll understand what that guy will and will not do.
So for anybody who's getting into group riding, try from a smaller group.
Yes.
And that will not stress you out, and you will enjoy smaller groups. If you're going in bigger groups, then leave all your ego aside and just follow what the commander says.
Yeah. I personally don't like riding in groups.
I don't riding in groups because of other reasons. That is more towards the civic sense area. That is because there are a lot of instances where people do not know how to conduct themselves in groups. Okay, everybody is like a super trained guy.
Yeah. For me, it's more to do with I would like to stop in certain places where maybe the group has decided not to stop there. So for me, because I like to kind of ride leisurely. I'm not like I need to reach my destination and that's it. For me, I know I would like to stop like we usually do, and doing that in big groups, you become the problem there. I know, like, why is this guy stopping here? So I usually, when I'm riding and I see a nice spot, I just want to go and relax.
All right, there are a lot of parameters.
Yeah.
Whether it is whether you want to stop somewhere, or somebody else wants to stop, or somebody else has a kind of a loose situation you have gone through. So it becomes a kind of a. So eventually, what happens? A 6-hour ride becomes an 8-hour ride. That's
like what you're saying. In a group ride, when you're going in a group, it's very simple. You follow what the main guy actually guides you to. If the navigator says we stop at this point, you stop at that point, because that's how it is. You know, and there's no other ifs and buts.
Yes.
And that's part of the group ride. And if you do that, it's fun. I mean, if you understand that logic of group riding, then it's fun. Then absolutely go for it.
Yeah. And one more thing about safety. If I've done past the group thing, is how you use your headlights or Aux-lights.
Yeah.
Okay. Please use low beams. Please do not use fog lamps or auxiliary lamps everywhere. Just use it when it is absolute. It's an important point where you really want to use those lights. Otherwise, just skip them. If you can barely see, even that is okay. But those massive, high intensity fog lamps, it's going to cause you more trouble than good. And which is why everybody these days are kind of annoyed by those lights.
Whatever you put on your bike, make sure it's an educated reason you're doing.
Yes.
Like you've researched it. You've just blindly not put fog lights. I've been using the ADV 390 for more than 8 months now, and I have ridden it in the dark, and I've not seen any reason of me putting any Aux-lights as of now. I might in the future, but I don't see a reason for me to put it now. Again, I'm not kind of saying that you shouldn't, but I've seen many guys who've just taken up the bike from the showroom, and the first thing they do is put Aux-lights. I don't know if that's a compulsion or do they feel that's a necessity for owning an adventure bike.
No, that's a imitation to be in the top tier, because they feel if they don't
I have an adventure bike, I have to have saddle guards, I have to have fog lights, I have to
But one good thing about your 390 is that it has a projector setup which works very well with the low power lights.
That's exactly
also.
what I'm saying. I didn't feel the need to use it. So
the only thing is with projector, if it's a white color light, if it rains, you can't see much. But that is only when you need a low power auxiliary lamps just to light the area in front of you, not like throwing those big pencil beams onto the oncoming highway.
I think that's one of the reasons the authorities have taken this and made an issue out of it, because there's been a lot of misuse of Aux-lights. I think if the biking community had used Aux-lights responsibly, I don't think.
But then it's not just limited to biking community.
Same. Okay, yes, correct. I think what we tend to do is we just abuse it. Like I said, we have no knowledge of what the product does and why are we using it for, and we've just put it in. People are using Aux-lights in the city. So of course,
I'm not talking about just about Aux-lights, but also the headlights. So let's just take the Honda Activa for
high beams.
Honda Activa. The Honda Activa. I'm sorry, Honda guys, you did a terrible job in the headlight department. So the rider thinks that he will see better with the high beams on. Basically, he sees nothing with his high beams on. He's just creating a bad situation for the oncoming traffic. They can't see. It's very distracting, and he can do very well with the low beams. In fact, remove all the high beams. That's what I would say. A good proper low lit area is just sufficient
for the city. More than enough.
More than enough.
You don't need high beams.
You don't need. So aux lamps just add to that chaos.
So is there any other thing when it comes to safety while riding? Again, two things. One is mentally try to kind of avoid confrontation. I mean, I at the heat of the moment, I agree. There are times where you want to kind of try to put something down, or but it doesn't work. And when you start riding, you realize that you have to let it just go, and you just because you are trying to do this for the long run, right? And you don't want something, and I'm talking about mishaps on the road or just a small argument. You just you want to become less effective with the what the other party says. You want to become totally I won't say totally blind, but it should not affect you. Because once it affects you, it affects your mind. If your mind is affected and your riding is affected, and you're thinking I should have done that, I should have done this, and then that's dangerous when you're on a bike. Right. So I think that's another thing. And the second point I was trying to make is physically, of course, motorcycling does kind of make you fitter, just by the process of handling the bike, maneuvering. It does put a physical stress on your muscle, on your body, and so it does kind of give you a free workout whenever you're riding, especially when you go a little off-road. You're literally controlling the bike, you're using all your primary muscles, you are giving them a workout. So that's why in the end of the ride you're exhausted because primarily of that. But make it a habit to kind of workout. And I'm not saying you do some crazy as workout. Primarily
those flexes
very
they
very
help
good.
a lot. It actually I had to skip one ride. It was about 4-5 years. I had this sciatic pain. Okay, and I know that it's not a good time for me to ride, but then I cracked how to solve this sciatica. It's just about flexes.
So you started stretching.
Stretching. Basically, when you stretch everything from these muscles, you're telling the muscles, hey, I'm actually making you ready for the adventures to come.
Yeah.
And I am also, and when you do those mountain trails, like the way you just said, you are not only training them, but you're also building a kind of a memory inside them. Your muscles will actually know how much to take and how much it is, you can then measure how your performance is on the third or the fifth one. So that's how you train. And you're right in saying so, that a motorcycle, when you do things in the right way you should be doing, it actually makes you a fitter person.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. And that is why I think most people take the joy from, and it's a kind of a unknown, it's just kind of a hidden test for yourself.
Yes.
When you take joy in doing something, and it's actually challenges you back to do something more.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just to kind of wrap it up, I mean, if probably we have to share a few, like if, say for example, you're looking for a small exercise that you could do or start with, I think push-ups. And these are everything that you could do even while you're riding. So when you reach your destination in a hotel or a PG or like a guest house, and the next day just before riding, you can do your stretches, a few push-ups, you can do squats, and you're good to go. I mean, but if you're doing
all those twists,
and if, say for example, on a non-riding day when you're at home, get in the habit of doing this regularly: push-ups, pull-ups, mountain climbers, squats. That's all you need. You're not trying to compete in any sport where you need to show, like you need to have your body built. It's mainly to be fit, to endure the long, process of riding.
That's right. Totally. We should always keep your eyes very safe, because it's just the glass in the helmet. That is the only thing which is going to protect you from any foreign particle getting into your eyes.
Oh, that's a very important thing.
Yes. And I have seen many guys who ride visor up. I can't do it. I'm not confident in doing so.
You should not.
And I always close the visor and then ride. Of course, it fogs up, then you ride slow, and then
you keep the slide bit open. That's for the air to come in.
Yeah, I think that's the only point I wanted to make in the end.
Awesome. Yeah, but that's crucial. Your eyes, because if you can't see, then you can't ride.
You talked about ears. I've talked about eyes.
I think,
And the rest, you guys, know your body, and you tell us what all things we missed. And
maybe they can probably share what they use when they're riding and what
I
gear.
mean, that's
what's their safety protocol when you guys ride.
Yes, absolutely. Please do, and that's going to even give us more. Additions to our learning plate.
Yeah, see, we're just building up information so people who come land up here can kind of look at this, share and learn from it. We're all learning, like again, like it's something we are just kind of using as for when we come back in the future, like say 2-3 years down the line, to understand what we were doing at that point. Have we improved from that point or not? All right, that's it. Ride safe
and stay safe. Eric and Diganta, baby, bye.